Hello, vinyl community. My voice is not any better. I still seem to have this laryngitis that I can't get over. But today I wanted to do a video about my Rolling Stones vinyl collection that I have. It's not by any means complete, although at least up until the 70s, I don't have too much in the way of the 80s collection. But I'll start with the first American album, England's Newest Hitmakers. This is a pretty beat up copy. The seam is split at the top, so I have to handle it very gingerly, but from what I can tell, it seems to be an original pressing. It's still got the, yeah. I hate even handling this because it's not the greatest copy. It's really in pretty rough shape, but it is what it is. And the 12 by 5, this is in a little better condition. Not the greatest, but at least none of the seams are quite split as bad as they are on the other one. Then the Rolling Stones now. Unfortunately, there's some, I don't know, somebody got ink or something all over the back, and then unfortunately somebody wrote on the $1. I can't imagine who would be selling this for $1. I certainly paid a lot more than $1 for it. Out of Our Heads, one of my favorite Stones albums. A lot of ring wear on this one, but I've not seen a label like that before. Usually I'm used to the blue label for, this is a mono copy though, it says, so maybe that's just how the mono copies look. And this is a December's Children. This one is still in the shrink wrap. And then Big Hits, High Tide and Green Grass. One of the best greatest hits collection, I think, pound for pound. Great thing about this is the booklet, which I don't know that many albums, I can't imagine when this came out, this has got to be one of the first ones that had a booklet like this in it. I know Elton John kind of made famous with some of his albums having those like extensive color booklets and with the lyrics and everything like that, but if this came out in '65, I gotta believe that's pretty, you know, at least for a rock and roll group, pretty extensive for that. This is Aftermath. Pretty decent. Blue London label. And another one of those where I almost prefer the British track lineup. Not that there's a whole lot of difference with Aftermath, but I'd like Paint It Black on that album. I think that fits better than Mothers of the Helper, but this is Got Live If You Want It. Beggar's Banquet. These are all on the Blue London label. I don't know that I need to take every single one out of the sleeve and show it. This is Flowers. This is one of the newer ones that I have. This is actually one of the 180 gram I don't even know how you open this. Oh, it's open from the side. And this is the mono. I don't have the stereo, but eventually I'd like to get my hands on a copy of that. And then the big one I have for this one, this is the box set that came out in 2017. So it's got the CDs and the vinyl in here. I managed to get it pretty cheap on eBay. I think I paid about 60 bucks for it on eBay. I won a bid for that. I don't know that I would have paid that much more for it. It's a handsome set though, but it's a little pricey considering it's not one of my favorite Stones album, but I think the packaging is very cool on that. This is Beggar's Banquet. With the sleeve that opens, and again just once I'd like to open one of these and have it be right side up. So that's the original Beggar's Banquet, and then I also have, this is a 180 gram, which has the rejected cover. They restored it for the when they started, actually for the CD, and when they put it back out on vinyl. The gatefold picture is the same. However, for this copy, this is actually clear vinyl, which is pretty cool. And but they only ever released it on CD with this cover, never with the original white cover. Through the Glass Darkly with the octagon shaped album sleeve. And then this one opens up. I apologize for the glare. I'm not a cinematographer by any means, but I'm just doing the best I can. And then I've got the original copy of Let It Bleed. That's the original London Records. And then I've got the 180 gram version. This is maybe my favorite Stones album. It's, if not the favorite, it's definitely the top two. My other favorite might have to be Sticky Fingers. I'll show you this one I will open up. It comes in this sleeve. And then the vinyl itself has got like a custom sleeve instead of the Decca sleeve or the London Records sleeve. And I only have the American albums. At some point I'd like to get a copy of the Decca British albums, but right now I do not have the financial resources to start investing in the other British records. Get Your Ya-Ya's out, one of the best live albums I think ever recorded, right up there with the Who Live at Leeds. And then of course another superb greatest hits. I know I said that the first High Tide and Green Grass was excellent, but this, in terms of a double album, I don't think it gets any better than this. Just really, in terms of 60s music, this one and the Beatles' Red and the White albums, I think, are just phenomenal. And then this is the companion piece, the More Hot Rocks. Side 1 is actually truer to a Greatest Hits. And then side 2, it just doesn't flow in chronological order like the original Hot Rocks does. It just seems kind of thrown together, which I imagine it probably was. But more pictures on the inside of the Stones in the 60s. Which, for me, I think the Rolling Stones in the 60s is when they were at their peak. Then Metamorphosis, this was released, this was one of those, their manager, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name, but their manager, ABKCO, Alan Klein, I'm sorry. I think he, after the Stones left the label, put this out, which is sort of like a hodgepodge of unreleased and alternate versions of popular songs. And it's got this interesting inner sleeve. Jeez. Details on how to order this original t-shirt. Great. I want to just want to look at the label. What does the label look like? So this has got a different kind of ABKCO label there. I'm not sure when this was released, but I think it was the early 70s. And it's interesting because it's got all 6 Rolling Stones. It's got Brian Jones and Mick Taylor on the cover. Just to kind of acknowledge that they're both represented on this particular collection. This is the Sticky Fingers with the zipper cover on it. And then I've also got just a 180 gram that doesn't have the zipper on it. And a different font for the title. And then I've also got the 180 gram version of Exile on Main Street. Goat's Head Soup. Not a huge fan of this album. I think kind of a letdown after Exile on Main Street and Sticky Fingers. But this is like a little cardboard thing that came with it. And then the inner sleeve. And then a picture of some of the session musicians, Billy Preston most prominently, who were featured on that inner sleeve. And then the first appearance of the classic Rolling Stones record label. I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. I didn't look at the label. It might have been Exile on Main Street. I'm not a Rolling Stones expert. I'm a big fan, but in terms of labels and things like that, I'm not entirely sure. Then It's Only Rock and Roll. I don't know if there's anything interesting in this one. It's the inner sleeve. And then on the back again, it's got pictures of some session players. It's a nice thicker inner sleeve than the one for Goat's Head Soup. So that's nice. Black and blue. With with a picture of them on the beach. And looks like it's information just taken from a recording session. The same thing kind of on the back. Never paid too much attention to the inner sleeves until actually making this video, but that's kind of interesting. And then this is another beat up copy that I have of their second live album, Love You Live. Got a lot of ring wear on here. The vinyl itself is in good shape, but this cover is not in the greatest shape. But maybe I'll Frankenstein it one day if I can find a better cover. Maybe with beat up vinyl I can just kind of swap it out, but for right now it is the only copy of that I have. And then the Rolling Stones comeback album, Some Girls. This has got the die cut sleeve. Good album, not one of my favorites. I'm not saying that I don't like it, but probably better than Emotional Rescue, which I don't have on vinyl. I've got it on CD, but. And then this is my copy of Tattoo You. I don't have the original inner sleeve, which is something that I'm looking for. If I can find it cheap enough, I'll, again, Frankenstein this one. But the sleeve itself is in pretty good condition. I just don't have the inner sleeve. And then the third Rolling Stones live album, Still Life. This is the inner sleeve, and then just the regular Rolling Stones label on there. And I only have one more, and that is not the greatest copy, but it is Dirty Work. And after this, I'm one of those Rolling Stones fans that I'm not a huge fan of anything that kind of came after Tattoo You. I mean, I'll eventually, if I can pick up the vinyl for the other albums that came after that, I will. But I'm not going to go out of my way. I'm just not that big of a fan for them. So at some point I'll make a video of my Rolling Stone CD collection, but I appreciate any comments that you have. If you like the video, I'd love to get a like, and thanks for watching.